The weeks and days roll by and the Counter-Strike keeps on getting better. Welcome back to ECS Season 7. My name is Henry G, and once more we're going to bring you all the action live and direct from Santa Monica, California. And my God, have we got a show for you today. A star-studded lineup, including James Bardoff and DDK. Hello, gentlemen. How's it going?
Hello. What? I can't say the rest.
No, you can't?
No.
We
What's
had
English slang here?
How are you guys doing? Are you excited for another day of CS?
Look,
No.
man.
I know what you're excited about. Do you want to? Should we get through the formalities first?
Fine.
We'll jump into that. I want to give you the spotlight.
I want to talk about me.
I know it's an interesting subject, I have to say. Either way, we are into the show. We have the European division coming up very, very shortly. We've got a great game for you. We can bring up the bracket so far and have a look who's going to be playing, who's been doing what, and who's in the final. Currently, we have North. They've done a great job so far, looking to get themselves a place in the finals in London. But the game will bring you today, as you can see at the bottom. Oh, I'm excited about this one. Mousesports Vitality. Boys, this is going to be quite exciting.
Yes.
We'll bring the schedule up just to confirm that is officially the game that's going to be happening, and we can jump into that discussion very, very shortly indeed. Daniel, Mousesports. Let's talk about that for a second. What excites you about this team? What makes them so volatile right now? Why is everyone talking about it?
Well, of course, they had an explosion and implosion. The lineup, as we know it, that Mousesports team that seemed to have so much potential, they feel like they kind of topped out. Their lineup with Sunny and Oscar, obviously those are two of the kind of stars that really came through on that team. Everyone knew they were very good, but Mousesports was a team where they really shined as star players. They're gone now. Chris J in that lineup became an in-game leader. Away from the AWP, he started to really flourish in that role as well. And also Rob's coming into his own. All this stuff was happening. But now it's all topsy-turvy. We've got new fresh talent in there.
Oh, yes.
Woxic, perhaps the new kind of Oscar, like an aggressive AWPer that can kind of surprise you and is absolutely ridiculous. His sensitivity alone is just weird to watch, right? So that's in of itself very exciting. Frozen, we don't really know much about him on this level yet, so we don't know whether he's going to rise to the heights that Sunny did or not. Karrigan, very interesting piece here. The guy that we know that can tie together, did it with FaZe already, a bunch of all-star quality players and make that team top 5.
You've done a fantastic job there, Dan. Really well done. Nice to see.
That's his best work this season.
That is excellent. Do you know what? He's going to get a reward now. You've got to do the social media call-outs and tell everyone how they can get involved and get stuck in.
Social media. If you want to complain about me and my drone and all these little bits on the table, then tweet at ECS. That's where you can make your complaints, or Faceit.com on Instagram. And the VODs, of course, of all our shows can be found on Faceit, as well as our special content as well, some of which is still to come. Hashtag ECS7 for all your queries.
Teaser.
Are we going to get Henry G in a kayak?
That's the question. I will get anything for you, James, to be honest. I'm very happy to do anything and everything, as we'll get into the ticket sales as part of the show as well, moving on swiftly. There are the finals coming up in London, of course, the best city in the world. We'll have the best Counter-Strike teams in the world. 8th and 9th of June happening in that beautiful city. ECS Season 7 finals. ECS.faceit.com. There's an early bird special I think is running out this week. You can get a discount, and tickets will continue to sell out, so make sure you get them very, very quickly indeed. It's going to be a great show. It always is a bit of a staple of the calendar these days. Now, James, I give you the entire
top-down
show
camera,
floor.
top-down camera.
You can do whatever you like for us, however long this game starts.
Okay, all right. So for those of you who don't know how this stuff works, okay, this is a FPV drone. That means that you wear these goggles. They're like VR. You plug this in, and you basically get the signal from the camera, which is here, in here. So I finished. Yeah. So I finished.
Oh, here we go. He started already. Dan, just don't be anything to do with this.
All right. So this is a video transmitter. Had to cut some cables, chop some stuff up. This is the receiver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in. And Henry, I reckon you can see through this camera.
Should I get the fire extinguisher ready?
No, we're good. We're good.
We're good?
All right. I'm going to point the camera at the pleb of the studio. And here, Henry.
Okay.
Put this on.
This is going to work?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you should take your glasses off. You can bring your mic back down. Can you see?
I can see myself. That's kind of insane. Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, when I fly this thing around, I can fly around corners and so on, around trees, and I'll wear that so he can see himself in the studio right now.
That is pretty awesome, James. I won't lie to you. It's coming through. It's a clean feed.
Yeah.
It's looking very nice.
The soldering's been done. I got some advice on shrink wrapping little cables.
Show
and tell. Dan?
Show and
have a look. So Henry's going to get a mini. One of these, which is what we had in the studio before. It's the one I landed on his monitor when he was playing.
Those look more like my wheelhouse. I don't want anything like that. I'm not very good at practical things.
Yeah, this is extremely dangerous. Yeah. So
it's cool.
So what we're gonna do
some perspiration in here, Henry.
I'm quite a sweaty guy.
That's perspiration.
So maybe
there.
I
Tomorrow
maybe I
we
did
get
that.
on
So what we're going to do is I can get a feed to the stream, okay, for the small one.
Okay.
This is probably gonna like Dan has scars from the Mavic Pro. This is next level.
Did you get hit by the blades, Dan?
Yes.
Okay.
I tried to launch it when we were on a boat, and it just flew straight into his arm, and
Okay.
just chopped his arm up.
Don't
It
they
didn't
have
go in the
guards-
sea though. The
don't they
main
have
thing
guards for
is
that?
it didn't go in the sea.
Okay.
Okay, risks are taken
Sure.
when you're out at sea. This one, eventually paid off. So there was no permanent harm done. apart
Okay,
from the
so
scars.
I love your passion.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like it's ready to fly right now.
Well-
It's great the camera's working, but how many more
Basically,
steps do we have to take?
I need to mount this. Maybe I'll protect it with some kind of shrink wrap. Mount it here.
Yeah.
Or on the roof under here. The same for this. Maybe I'll mount it under there. And then that's it. That's it, really.
Is it going to look like a proper drone, like all in a case and everything and clean? Is it going to look tidy, or
This goes.
is it going to look a little bit DIY?
Oh, good. This goes like here, like that.
Okay.
So it's going to look like a danger zone drone,
Right.
basically,
Okay.
without a case underneath it.
All right.
It's not going to be carrying a scout. Maybe we could make like a miniature scout and just fly around above your head.
Perfect.
in the studio.
That sounds amazing.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Boys, while we're here as well, shall we jump into our predictions and see whether we can work out who will be winning this game?
You're more handsome through here, Henry.
I know, it looks like it's like a VHS sort of feed coming through. It
It's a
looks,
bit blurry.
I look very nice in VHS camera.
Stop touching it.
Let's bring those graphics up and we'll work out where the land lies in terms of who we think will win between Mousesports and Vitality. We'll do the veto first. So get that out of the way. I guess that's my fault. We should have probably done that
I've
earlier on.
obviously distracted you
Got distracted by drones and stuff like that.
by all the
But to be
electronics.
honest, the maps, we don't want the maps, do we, Dan? We want to cast the action. We just want to get stuck in there.
That's
Dust
a great
2.
three-map
three
series.
maps.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's spicy, isn't it?
Yeah, Overpass especially. Vitality trying to punish
Yeah.
Mousesports with their new lineup. It's a difficult, tricky one. You wouldn't necessarily focus on that.
Let's just go three maps, Henry.
Yeah, I would say that's probably right. What do you think about Mousesports and Mirage?
I think Mirage is a map where you can get away with the simple stuff pretty effectively. You don't have to be too complicated. Let's not forget as well, Mousesports used to be known when they were really coming up as one of the best Mirage teams.
For a short while,
and
they were.
They have had some time to work with this team. I do wonder if they would try to pick that up again with the help of Chris J, kind of leading the charge, saying, hey, this is what we used to do. This is how we made everything work before. They have the players for it. I think that could be a really exciting game. Very much looking forward to that one. I don't think that they will have much of a chance in Overpass. I think, are we going to do predictions?
We are, eventually.
Okay,
Here
well,
we go.
I'm going to lock in
you
Mousesports.
been on this show before?
I think it's going to go three maps, but I think the first map will be a loss to Mousesports. They're going to struggle, but then moving to the next two maps is going to be an explosive series.
So you're going Mousesports 2-1.
Yes.
Okay, Bardoff, what you got?
I mean, they're both relatively new teams.
Are Vitality a new team still?
To me, they feel like one.
I would say they've been together like 6 months now. They're knocking the door of it at least.
They've obviously taken a few players out of the original starting
like they just
lineup, but
maybe like 4 or 5 months. I feel like they've been to enough tournaments now
They've
to
been
say
to a
they're not
bunch,
a new
yeah.
team, right? They've been to like 3 or 4 tournaments.
Well, in that case, I have to pick Vitality because I think that I want the more story team to prevail. I think that's the way it should be.
I agree, and that's why I'm going Vitality as well. I feel Mousesports definitely have potential to be a much better team than Vitality, but right now, their CT sides have impressed me. Their T sides seem lacking, understandably so. Sliggy, who have you got for this one?
I'm going Vitality. I just think it's too early for Mousesports.
So I'm not sure that came on the broadcast, but similar kind of sentiments to ours that they're not quite ready to take on Vitality, who I think have got a lot of flack for their performances. They haven't been great, but I think people expect too much of the kind of pedigree of the squad. We've got so many veterans and major winners in there. You'd think they'd be much better than
one thing. One thing that's weird. There's the Pinnacle user prediction. So 66% Mousesports. One thing that's weird is that you can't really prepare for Mousesports, right?
Sure.
You don't know. You can't have any expectations. You can't counter a team who've been together for 5 minutes, and that is to their benefit. But of course, I think that will play out more in a best of one than a best of three.
Absolutely. Well, we can have a look at the odds as well and see what Pinnacle.com says about those. It looks like Vitality. That seems about fair, I think.
They're sensible people.
Yeah, they are.
Men and women at Pinnacle.
Check
they're
them
sensible.
out. They are our headline sponsor, the bookmaker of this tournament. Yes, I think that's about right. Like Vitality, they would be gutted if they lost as well.
The thing is, Henry, if you believe, if you're at 66% for Mousesports, then there's money to be made.
There absolutely is.
And lost, but mainly made.
Well, let's get into the action then, ladies and gents. Here we go. The only game from the European Division today today. This should be a good one as well. Mousesports starting on the T side, and Vitality, the favored team, at least in our opinion, will be on the CT side, and they're getting aggressive towards Monster as they hunt for information. But RPK is happy with what he has right now, and he doesn't want to overextend. Shows a little bit of presence there and falls back and maybe trying to bait in his teammate to actually push towards water off short.
Yeah, this is interesting. Mousesports, they have Karrigan. Karrigan, obviously, there's a period where FaZe on Overpass was one of the scariest teams. Then I wonder if there is anything that he can bring across from that experience. But there's the first contact made. RPK will spot a couple players. A bunch of Glock fire. However, Vitality have a strong control of the short position. So Mousesports don't really have accessibility towards that. So they're going to charge through the tunnel. And they're going to have to just hit the headshots. And that is a good start. But RPK, delivering in response, has to go for the reload, but does so safely. And he is still fragging. That is outrageous. But onto a 2-on-2 we go. And it's still anyone's.
ZywOo in a short position. That's a really important frag. Stops the bomb from going down. Robs has to fight now. He's got 35 seconds, so it's not a concern, the bomb plants at the moment. ZywOo has moved back in that short position. He doesn't really know where Apex is, though. Trying to invite another play. It's a footstep. Apex has a look. And that's a pistol round for Vitality.
He fell inside the... I don't think I've ever seen anyone fall inside that before.
Fall inside what, Dan?
The floor. His body was just absorbed by the floor.
He got sucked into another dimension, perhaps. Taken to a parallel universe. Who knows? It will be 1-0 to Vitality. I love that play from RPK. He did look like a tank there, taking so many bullets, and no one could seem to find him whatsoever. 3 kills in total, very quick, as Vitality edged up the lead right now. Remember, Mousesports, I don't think they would have played this map a ton. They all obviously know how to play it and operate, but just getting that cohesion on this team. Synergy, it's a good word for it, is going to be a problem for them. So we'll see. I really feel like Vitality should be running away with this one. The fact they got the pistol, I feel like it's going to be a bit of a landslide, but I hope we get the 3 maps. But love to be proven wrong. We'll see what happens.
I could see Kiyashima fitting well on Vitality, actually. But anyway, side thoughts.
I think they kind of need him with the whole major situation. So,
yeah.
Cloud9, that is.
Ooh, some money to be made here for Apex. There you go, finished off nicely. So this is going to be really interesting to see how much depth we can get out of Mousesports. I think, again, I made this point last time. I feel like Karrigan is the kind of leader that kind of knows how to... It's not like maybe an MSL or an Existence or something whereby you have teams where they want to create... They need 3 months to really get them going. I think Karrigan's good at just getting it running right off the start and kind of building it gradually as it develops over time. So, first proper buy run coming out from Mousesports, full AKs. We'll see how aggressive Vitality get here. Typical smoke off the top of the bin there, and ZywOo goes straight through the smoke. Sneaky stuff off the bat with that UMP, and it looks like it's going to work out. A double from ZywOo. That is a great start.
Oh, could get a bit better as well here. Nice shot from MBK to take Chris J to 24. No kill, but that really hamstrung Chris J as he makes his way towards long. This is going to be a difficult one to recover now. That UMP of ZywOo does crazy damage, as they know they have to be a little bit more aggressive, make some plays here up against the AK-47s, and it suddenly works out. And we'll see lots of information gathered from the CTs. Alex takes his way all the way in towards T-spawn, and this is a problem. Mousesports are aware of the prospect, but can they take the frag? This kill might decide the outcome of the entire round, and Karrigan is going to check it, but loses the bomb. Alex might be better off just falling back at this point. He does not want to die. They've got a huge advantage. That's a great grenade as well. A little bit of damage, falls back. That's the right play.
Yeah, he can fall back, and they don't really know. He could be in T-spawn, holding an angle towards B. They have no idea where he is. Doesn't need to protect the bomb despite seeing it because they have so many advantages elsewhere. Mousesports, with half the people alive of Vitality, do not know the landscape before them. They don't know if anybody's in toilets, if anybody's in connector, if anybody's going to flank them or have some kind of off angle, so it's going to take them ages to get forward. No need to hold on to the bomb and give them a potential 2 versus 1, 1 versus 1, when you could have 2 versus 2 worst case scenario on either site. 20 seconds remain. Chris J waiting for the smoke to go, being spotted now. Apex hack. He can play the bomb. Doesn't need to over-engage, but he has the bloodlust. He wants to hunt. Rops has a plant opportunity if he can take out Apex. Does he think that's Apex? No, he knows it's not. Is there time? No, there isn't time. Ooh. But 2 kills, not too shabby. I don't think Vitality will be terribly concerned, considering they didn't buy up beyond the SMGs that they had.
Exactly.
So everything is in its right place.
This was a really nice play from ZywOo. The UMP, up close and personal. 2.2 kills, I'd say, with a little bit of damage there inflicted. But there it is. Very nice stuff for Vitality. Absolutely right. That is a massive win for them on the French side. Just winning the round is enough because they came in with FAMAS's SMGs, and now they've got Mousesports down to Deagles. So they should be able to get themselves nice and secure. Here's the standard Molotov. Incendiary towards T-steps. Luckily, Frozen can get past it before the flames melt him. As Frozen takes a lot of damage from the HE, so that's by design, in fact. They're trying to bait people to get towards the playground to beat the Flames, then follow it up with the HE. Pretty cool stuff. Rops has been playing out of his mind recently, so watch out for him. I don't mind the fact he gets some armor to go over his Deagle because he's been hitting absolutely everything.
Yeah. I think for those of you that missed his performance a couple of days ago, it was something where, like, we know that Robs can hit those peaks, but he was just so laser focused and so consistent. You can see that he has been putting an enormous amount of time into the game, and that reminds us that Mousesports were the team that grinded events and traveled, I think, by far the most of all the top 8 teams, and they didn't get a chance to practice enough. And so I hope this new Mousesports gives Robs more opportunity and the rest of them to really get that practice time that they need in between traveling to events. And Vitality will shut this one down pretty clean. Mousesports not getting anything there, and great start for Vitality. Off to the next buy round. I mean, if we remember back a few rounds ago, Mousesports got absolutely wrecked before they could start their buy round. So we've not really seen what their buy round really looks like just yet.
Well, we hopefully will now. Voxic on that AWP. The Kriegs are out. Chris J, Carrigan, players that adopted them early when they came into the meta. We'll be rocking with those, and we've got Robs and Frozen with the AKs. What kind of setup we've got from the CTs, though? Vitality exploring towards middle once again. A later Incendiary that misses, so we'll see how that pans out for them. But you can see Mousesports are ready for aggression here. Frozen is aware that MBK is coming. Guaranteed kill for him, and that's going to be a 5-on-4 early for Mousesports here.
Looks like they're ready to push into the site. Voxic holding an angle. Carrigan might creep in behind it. So we might be in for some trouble. Double peek of their own. That actually gives him some cover to peek. Not as good as a flashbang. But there is some mileage to be had in it. Apex has a lot to do now if this push finally starts to happen. He sees the bomb immediately. 2-man spray down. They're rotating towards that monster position, and the bomb's going to get smoked off. I do believe he has support from RPK, who can hold down the short position. Great Molotov use. Apex knows his angles. 3rd kill for him. And 42 HP between 2 Mousesports players. It's rough, but it's doable. Voxic with 4 HP and an AWP. Maybe hard pressed to get the kind of peak he wants, though.
This is not looking good. Mousesports had the 5-on-3 until Apex arrived. What a fantastic round from him. 3 kills, and it looks like it's done. Flashbang comes in. Maybe overextends, now goes to the 2-on-2, but still so much work to be done for Mousesports here. A couple of bullets in their general direction, they're going down. It happens, and Alex still has the advantage here. 1 versus 1 up against the AWP. Can Voxic hit the shot? It's so close, and they dance around the pillar. Who will come out on top? I think it's still going to be Alex, but no. He blinks first, and it will be Voxic to pick up a very important round for Mousesports there. Good recovery from both sides. It was a 5 versus 3. Vitality got themselves back in the round. All of a sudden, though, Apex maybe overextends with the flashbang peak, and they get back in the round. Crazy scenes there. I thought he'd done enough.
The AWP is the problem. Can't take a duel, but you got the right gun to avoid that. 1 shot, and that's a wrap. Voxic showing some of his early value with Mousesports. Very unlikely round. The effort was quite colossal from Apex, so it's really unfortunate for Vitality, but they're still on the buy. Maybe their best one yet. Cyber with a fancy new AWP. Everybody from Mousesports towards the B-bomb site. This may be a faster round than we've seen before, because they don't really have the map control. And with NBK in such a forward position, well, they can't take it for granted because of their aggressive plays towards the playground earlier on, but here comes the push.
Bully their way into the bomb site. Not really working out, though. Vitality will lose a player and a lot of nades. And 1 minute, 10 seconds left. Mousesports have now fallen back entirely. And this actually can work out really well because they have taken a lot of positioning away from Vitality. Vitality obviously spreading players back into A now. They've got just MBK there with the AUG. And Vitality, there's still this window of timing where they're thinking, okay, well, maybe Mousesports are still hanging out around Monster or Suez. We don't have the info there. So they are just playing very passively. So in that sense, with the AWP specifically, this could work out really well. Voxic, maybe he catches MBK on a jump peak. or maybe he catches someone. Oh, we actually hit him as well. That is very nice. Unfortunately, the kill is really what they needed, so they could really put their foot on the pedal, but they're still looking like a slow approach into this A bomb site, and the rotation will come in for Vitality now.
15 seconds remain at this point, and it looks like they're going to desperately go in one by one. They've got no time, no utility, and almost no chance. But Frozen finds them an access point. That's a decent headshot towards MBK, but I think that's all they get. Voxic will have to hold on to the AWP. It is a reset, but remember the new system is in place now. It won't be too catastrophic. They'll still be at the 3rd stage loss bonus at this point, so that's not too bad. So we have, there was an update yesterday, wasn't there, with the graphics on the scoreboard. Ah, there we go.
Yeah, loss bonus. That's fantastic.
So it's 3rd stage. Am I right there? You can see the orbs kind of covering it. So is it 3rd or 2nd?
I think 4 lit up would be 5th stage.
Oh.
So it's kind of confusing because they put 4 bars on there instead of 5.
I guess, yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense because... Oh, yeah, you're right. I haven't looked at it myself.
Yeah, so basically 1 bar would be, I think, 19 rather than 14.
Sure.
Right?
All right.
Which is just kind of weird. Why
don't
you put 5 bars on there? There's no confusion to be had.
Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't looked. That's the first time I've seen it. So difficult for me to sound smart about it right now.
I guess they ran out of bars.
I will check it out this evening and work it out so I can actually use it properly, perhaps. But the orb's still there. And we'll have Voxic around with P250s, Deagles. And they'll do everything they can to make this work. Boosting behind the smoke, seeing if there's any action to be had.
Very quiet, slow pace from Mousesports this round after some faster rounds. Partly that's a great shot. Partly it's just to try and figure out what's going on, get Voxic into a position to get an unsuspecting kill. My god. Rob's pumping bullets into the back of Alex. Not successful though. Orc really good on those tight angles with the spray. And everyone's been wiped out here for Mousesports, so loss bonus will still be helpful. You can see that the buy is still looking good, considering that they only did a little cheeky half buy in the previous round. So now they've got the op still and full AKs along with it. Vitality looking very well oiled on the CT side.
This is pretty much what we expected, right? And
yes.
The problem is Mousesports, like we said, their CT sides have been impressive. The few games we've seen, their T sides have let them down, and this is a very technical map. You need lots of theory in the strat book down. You need to make sure you've got your timings down, understand how your teammates approach situations. And if Vitality are kind of bullying you in respect, they're getting first picks easily, they're winning almost every single round in a situation, it's difficult to really adapt and do much with it. But they have got the skill on the Mousesports side, and they're going to try and do whatever they can towards long here with the AWP of Voxic. He's currently on 2 kills, 5 deaths. No one there for now. It's a very B-centric hold from Vitality. 3 players there right now. There were 4, but Apex is transitioning over to backup MBK. Very slow default here as we hit the 1 minute mark.
One minute on the clock. Lots of smokes for Mousesports. Does this suggest a execute on the A sites? Perhaps 4 smokes with 45 seconds on the clock. A resmoke from Vitality by Divider. Mousesports will have to assume that somebody is on the other side of that smoke, and that's going to be a problem moving towards the site. Some spray. A question asked, no response from Vitality, but that smoke will soon be gone. And there is the wall of smoke we're talking about, the execute towards the A site. Isolates some plays, but it's a fake. The bomb is rotating by Playground, which is very far away from anywhere with 25 seconds on the clock. And the frags are not going their way. Chris moving towards the A site now. Seems that this is like a plan C for Mousesports, and Rops is last man standing in the short B position. I think maybe because of the multiple smokes from Vitality towards the toilets, towards Divider, Mousesports were not able to go for their initial plan, but neither one seemed to work out. Yeah, and the bomb was very far behind.
It looks like they're really struggling on the T side here. They're not getting any picks at the start. They're running defaults, and defaults are designed to get map control and hopefully work some opening frags, but they're not getting that at all. Vitality being quite dynamic with their setup, and they're also being quite passive. They're not being super aggressive and giving many opportunities away. Focusing towards that B site, and unless you have a really detailed execution, you're not going to beat a team like Vitality with contact plays towards the B bomb site. They'll take a tactical timeout here, and they do have a decent loss bonus. As you can see, they've got almost 4k on each player, but that's not really enough. But Rops has saved the AK from the previous round. They're working out what they can do here. Deagle's coming out. Doesn't look like the force buy is going to come through, but a partial buy certainly can. I just feel like this map, it's not going to happen for them. I feel like the next one, Mirage, that's where they'll be able to cause some damage. Dust 2 will be epic if we can get there. That's where I think this game will really warm up. So we'll see. Frozen presumably has a pistol on the floor. Drop for him. Eagle, there it is.
Well, if they can get at least a few rounds together. Perhaps if they've been deathmatching enough today, and their aims are all woken up already, then that CT side could be an explosive one for Mousesports. We'll have to wait and see. As Henry mentioned, a very technical map, and that's a beautiful pre-aim there from Rops. Finds himself the second one, decapitates Alex, and they got a 5 versus 3. However, those guns aren't easily recoverable. That's one of the problems. That's beautiful. Rops is just single-handedly picking them apart with just the AK, and Frozen and Christian on the AWP and M4. Finally, Rops dies, but he has done more than his fair share.
Yeah, well, no tactic really there. Just, Rops, do you want to go try kill everyone? And he's like, yes, I definitely do. And that would be very effective indeed. 3 nice AK headshots for him, but there's still a chance of losing this round. MBK's been playing incredibly good CS as of late. He will be holding up towards the A site, detects a threat. Problem is he's only got a flashbang here, so might just be showing some presence there with some shots and actually feeling like they go back towards B. Not sure there are 2. I think it's a pincer towards the B site, and Apex has been very good in this position. He's smoked off towards Monster. He's funneled them towards short. He can still win this round. He will be taken care of quickly, though. So nice stuff from Mousesports, especially Rops. Really solid rounds. Like I said, nothing sustainable there. There's no adaptation or change of strategy. That's Rops with the single AK just doing what he does best, which is clicking on heads. He manages to take down the first, preempts the boost. And the second was a beautiful shot as well. This is why he looked so sharp recently. Apparently he had 136 hours coming into week 1 of ECS. So that's pretty remarkable. You can see why he's playing so well.
Yeah, and Apex, had he had a big defense at the end would have been interesting. He's already 16-6 now, or is he 16-5? In 9 rounds, not too shabby. Doing a lot of the lifting for the team. The ZywOo, incredible AWP. Surprised they did not connect. And it's starting to turn around here for Mousesports, starting to find their legs. Got more pace to their play, more snappiness. And once again, they get an early advantage. The utility game for Vitality is not good right now for this time in the rounds. And so Mousesports, again, this if they were a well-drilled team, of which they're not on their T-sides yet, this would be an amazing situation to call from. But they have to do a lot of stuff on the fly, we have to assume. And so that does make things difficult. They go back towards B, which is a fairly safe bet if you want to keep things simple. However,
yeah,
Vitality have predicted this well.
Well, the thing is, especially if you're a team lacking in the tactical side, perhaps, you do want to keep it simple. You've got this advantage right now. Keep all 5 players together. Nothing too technical required. Just go in and use that advantage and trade out kills exactly like they're doing now. Great job. And that's going to be the round. 7-3, surely. As ZywOo does at least explore, but rightly falls back.
That exchange was really cool, actually, because we had the CTs pop flash themselves in for a peek on Monster. The guy was close and blind. Start sliding up the slanted wall, and then that sort of like opened up the AWP, who was really far back, to start just pumping led into those CTs. So that was actually really interesting how that pop flash was kind of cool, but ended up backfiring in that way.
Yeah, that was really awesome. ZywOo looking to hold on to his AWP. Carrigan's on the way. Doesn't know if he's left. ZywOo keeping quiet for now. I think this AWP is kind of cool. With skins like this, though, I don't know if, like, 2 months from now, I'll still think it's cool, or if it will go out of fashion, so to speak. But from those skins, the 5.7 is kind of fun. It's playful. I wanna buy one of those. But the factory new stat track was like 230 quid. No, so I'm past those days, Dan. I don't need it that badly.
Do you wanna call him Ziwu? Or how was it?
There's like some dark place in the back of my mind where I'm thinking Ziwu. But
some dark place.
Yeah, it's a weird one, but you know, it's up to them.
Yeah.
I never said it wasn't. I'm just saying that in French. If you read that in French, you would say Ziwu. Apparently, look, NBK, they call him NBK in French as well.
All right. In Swedish, they call me Dedekor. Dedekor. All right. Okay, so we have just a single orb on Mr. Ziwu. Monsieur Ziwu. See if he can do anything with that. He is on the long position, so it's easy to circumvent him. Oh, he may get punished pretty bad here. May get the baits. There's the baits. And the peek comes in from bathrooms. It will, well, Apex will die. Trying to bait out another shot here. Flashbang comes in, and that is fantastic. That's a beautiful passage of team play to take down the danger man of this round for Mousesports, or rather I should say for Vitality. Lovely 1-2 punch. It's great to see the snappy team play. Again, that's not something that you need when you're playing Counter-Strike at this level. It's not like every setup has to be drilled into, you know, off the server with the team. Like, some things are just very intuitive as someone that understands good Counter-Strike. You have a teammate with you. You want to attack a position. You know how to most effectively use that teammate, and you both just look at each other and just know. You just know what you're both going to do, and that's what we saw there from Mousesports, and that will give them their 4th round. And they actually look like they're on for quite the comeback here. 3 rounds in a row after looking like they were shut out. This map is far from over.
3-round lead for the French. It is far from over now. Yeah, if Mousesports can get like 6 rounds on the T side, what 6 of the AWP on the CT side would be even more devastating. Had some key frags, impact frags, in these rounds for sure. Catches the player peeking for information. Maybe that gives them an insight into what the initial configuration might be for Vitality. Frozen's on a scouting mission. Noise is being cut. Bombs left in a rotatable position. Chris J lurking short B, so there's a lot of good map control for Vitality at present. RPK with a FAMAS near that short B position. Vitality maybe not with the tools they want. In this round they wait for Mousesports to proceed. Holding on to their smokes, however. 53 seconds, they had 4 smokes, they just deployed 1. That might be a problem to deal with for Mousesports.
Well, there's the kill back. The camouflage position. Ooh. Only leads to 1 though, the HE follow-up, and that will be their cue to strike. RPK essentially alone on the B bomb site here. FAMAS in hand, he's got back out from Alex towards Graffiti. They are fighting back here, but Voxic narrowly misses out on the headshot there. Millimeters away from making that round a possibility. Well done to RPK with the FAMAS, making that round a possibility. As Vitality pull 1 back here. It was a struggle though, they really had to fight for that one. Apex arrives on the scene just in the nick of time. And it's the FAMAS that closes things out. RPK picks up the AWP as well. Hand that to Ziwu, the young French prodigy. We'll see what he can do with it.
That HE could have been massive because the player who got blown up was about to smoke the short B position.
Yeah. So
it was a key HE, but it didn't convert the round, but it could have been so much.
That's why they just went in. As soon as they got it, that was their cue. Just get the hell in the bomb site. HE strong. As Mousesports starting to pick up the pace now, getting some confidence, some rounds on the board. It's a lot of work to do here. As round 13 comes through, they do have Vitality on the ropes financially. As MBK will operate in the bathrooms here with the UMP. Smoke down to allow him to find some space. 3 Ts in front of him. No real backup from his teammates here. The flashbang goes in, and he just has to tuck himself in the corner and see what he can do. 1 frag would be enough just to dismantle their defaults and any execution potential. We'll see if he can find it.
So tense. This push around the bathrooms is everything. MBK, does he go too far here? A player close to try to punish. There is the punish. Chris J out there. Now down to Alex. He could potentially turn this one around with an excellent timing, and he has Apex for backup coming in as well. And this is still not over yet here for the CTs. Alex will wrap around the back. He finds some spray into Woxic. Is there anyone to trade him out? Doesn't look like that's the case, but Chris J on the front of things doing a good job. ZywOo locking it down. He is able to find cover once again. He's okay. He's got a crossfire with his teammate Alex, though. He turns away. The stepping distracted Alex. And still, though, RPK flanks this round. It is so difficult for Mousesports somehow.
Yes, indeed. It's Rops in a 2 versus 1. We know how good he is right now. No fake plants here. He's going for it. The C4 will be planted. He's got 1 flashbang and 2 CTs to find.
Repositioned away from the bomb plant. Hasn't been spotted just yet. RPK is out. There's a first kill. 28 HP versus the AWP. Spots ZywOo. It's got a great angle, but the USP to finish off the job. Nerves of steel from ZywOo.
That was close.
9 round for Vitality. That was down to the wire, wasn't it?
In the face as well with the silence USP. The only way he could win the round. The AWP is not viable in that situation at all. He knew Robs had a massive advantage. HP wasn't a factor with the sniper. Has to bring out the USP. Nails the shot, and you wouldn't expect anything less from ZywOo. Big round for them to pick up. It's 2 in a row. And at this point, Robs might be a little bit gutted at that one. Felt like he had it. That's such a great shot. Well done. Defuse comes in comfortably, but the bomb was planted. So another fires there, of course. Still residual cash as we enter round 14. Vitality still on the FAMASs after winning 2 in a row.
It's, well, the last round they survived with so few players. That B-bomb side attack, that was another round where the clutch from RPK saved them. So Mousesports could be 6-7 at this point, but in fact, Vitality looking good. Woxic looking for a strong start, an explosive start to this round as he goes deep towards the sandbags there. On short, looking for a pick at the beginning of the round. He's been pretty solid on his pick so far, hitting a lot of decent shots. Can he find one here? There's 4 CTs to defend. Flash goes out, but perhaps he's given it up for now. Falling all the way back. I think the CTs are looking for this boost. Indeed, they are. They see the T's are trying to make a play there. Woxic still going up for it, though. Going to try to peek together, spots it. Will he try to get for the wallbang? He does, but it's not going to connect. So much tit for tat here. The early damage exchange fairly even between the 2 teams.
Chris J still up towards the toilets. Mousesports have continuously been smoked off at Divider, which has caused them problems. The smoke is only just fading up there. But it's limited how close they can get to the A-bomb site for fear of somebody behind the smoke. A very advantageous position. And maybe that channels them towards this B-bomb site. MBK's waiting outside long. In the meantime, Rops has been spotted. Monster and taken out. RPK will be taken out in return. See what Alex has to do with this round. Apex holding on for the time being, spotting a play, moving to the short B position. Oh, he's up on the slide. He's made his own slide. He's seen the bomb, but he only got 1 kill. 10 HP for Frozen. He won't last very long. Double figures for Vitality.
Alex only gets the 1 kill, but that's more than enough. The fact the bomb gets dropped to such an awkward spot, there's, what, 15 seconds remaining. He dinks the other player as well. It just causes absolute carnage there. So still very well played by Vitality. Lovely setup. Remember, they were really poorly invested into the round with 2 FAMASs, a lack of utility as well. They hold on once again in that B-bomb site and manage to take us to round number 15 and still have a FAMAS after winning 3 rounds in a row. So Mousesports definitely causing damage every single round. They have a strong buy once again. Just can't get over the finish line in some of these key rounds. So one more chance to find the 5th as they will receive an A towards middle. Not too much damage taken though.
It's so disruptive as well, like talking about Alex's play.
Yeah.
Because on the comps, like, how do you call that?
It's
the guy right behind you, bombs down, and the guy's like, but there's 2 other guys in front of me, like, what do I do?
That's the bomb down as well. You've got no time. It's just done. That was a really nice little bait and switch there. And the FAMAS player that was baiting him in, once he got flashed, he might, most players might try to knife out, reposition, and hide. He just wanted to dump everything he had and said, look, I'm over here. Come kill me. I'm a free frag. Just come focus on this and let my teammate mop up. That's exactly what happened. So that was very well done.
Oh, wow. Door was not even opened yet. No, he didn't.
It wasn't a wallbang though. Okay, he had a small gap in it.
Oh,
there you go.
okay, I see.
Very small gap in the door, so he spotted him. It looks like
it's a particle cannon. The door is irrelevant.
Straight through.
Goes through everything.
There we have it.
Smoke soon going in the long position. Very different round. But again, smoked off by Divider. Such a strong position for the French. The scope of Woxic will be heard by NBK. He knows another player is there. He needs a support flashbang, but there's action towards long. No one can really flash for him at the moment. He's stuck in the corner, taken out, and that will tie things up. Zyru holding down the site for the time being, gets the 1v1s around Optimus. That leaves Woxic as the last man standing. 1 versus 3 in the back of the head and dead. 11-4 in favor of Vitality. Henry.
11-4 bodes very well for the French. Mousesports, though, with signs of life and individual skill. They're going to need a lot more where that came from, and they're going to bring this game back. See what happens after the break. A game of cat and mouse here as the international squad are already quite far behind at this stage. They switch over towards the CT side, and they're going to need this pistol to stand a chance. But remember, their CT forces have been much stronger than their T-side approaches. We'll see if they can get this done. It all starts here, though, with the defuse kit, a couple of flashbangs, and there's quite a lot of utility on the Vitality side. Flashbangs, smokes, Molotovs available as they hold up, and there's a cheeky P250 for Alex as well, as Zyro makes his way towards short. First kill, it's clean as you like. Very well done.
That might keep the CTs towards the B bomb site. I don't know how much Woxic saw, but he's been falling back. That frag is key, however. I don't believe Woxic has seen anybody just yet, based on watching the radar. Now he sees one, and that's the bomb spotted, and now the rotation can begin, but they know there's a lurker, a potential flank, and that might slow the rotation from B to A. Falling back to the bank position, playing retake if necessary, but Vitality will not overcommit. I don't know if Chris J hears the rotation around toilets from his position in short B. But now one of these two remaining Vitality players has gone towards long. 2 versus 4, not ideal. Alex has a P250, which gives him even footing at this point in the ranges he'll be engaging over the Glock. We spotted a shoulder pad. Ouch.
Well, So has been incredible though. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It's a pistol round. He's got a USP. An ace is on the cards, Henry. I would say. Never mind. Woxic decided that he would get.
He almost got an ace. He got 4.
Yeah, that he would get on top of that. So that's it's impressive, an impressive and a much needed start. And you would think if you're just tuning in that 4-11 scoreline for Mousesports at the beginning of the second half, looks like they've been getting really dominated.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first like 5-6 rounds were kind of dominant, but Mousesports actually had a very close series of rounds, which they narrowly lost to clutches.
Sure.
And I think it could have been an 8-7, 7-8 type
Absolutely.
split.
Yeah, they did not get wrecked by any means. It didn't feel like a battery. It wasn't one of those games where there was not much to talk about. Vitality got the bomb down a lot. They found themselves in advantageous positions, just couldn't close the rounds out. Rush towards B here, and you can see how effective this is. Very coordinated from Vitality. This is looking excellent for them. Overwhelming for Robs, but his individual skill is carrying him through the situation. He can't find a second frag though, however. Voxic has been looking sharp. It goes down to a 2-on-2. They have the advantage in terms of the weaponry, as now the MP9 trying to do great work here, and it certainly will do that. Bomb's been planted though. RPK left with just the SMG and not much else, Dan, I have to say. It doesn't look like he's got much of a chance here unless he hits shots like that. MP9 action going down, and RPK somehow wins the round. That is absolutely huge. And another clutch that goes in favor of Vitality.
Yes, they've been winning all the clutches, you're right. And the MP9 sometimes just looks like a god-tier gun.
I had a conversation with Nothing about this in Katowice. He was obviously there with Complexity, and he said to me, like, the MP9 is pound for pound his favorite gun in the game, as it's so cheap but so effective. Like, it's underrated in terms of how much range it actually does have, the fire rate on the weapon, how versatile it is with the movements, and you can be very nimble with it. So we're seeing that a lot more. Like, we don't really see the MP7 that much anymore. We don't see the MP5. Everyone's realizing the MP9 is cheaper, and not necessarily better, but like I said, pound for pound in terms of investment compared to the rewards that can be reaped with it are definitely noticeable. And you're seeing that weapon do great work as we have Vitality once again back in the lead.
And if you have that good first bullet accuracy, the fire rate's so fast that you're going to get rewarded by the follow-up bullets for sure. It's all about those first couple bullets with the MP9, and it's like Vitality will be cleaning things up. The MAC-10 actually also pretty damn good. Surprisingly accurate also.
It's more situational, because obviously on the T side, you can't hold angles and wait for CTs to push down. But if you know they're a little bit trouble for cash, perhaps, and they won't have helmets, it can be incredibly effective just to deploy as not necessarily a bait, but a litmus test into a bomb site to see what's there. It's disposable. If you give that MAC-10 away, it's pretty useless against fully equipped players, as Vitality continue their rampage here in round 18. It's a 4 versus 2, but Carrigan can still cause damage here, but only good for 1 kill. Bomb will be recovered and planted, as Rops is pretty far removed from the situation. He's hoping they fall back, and there'll be somewhat of a lurker on this side of the map, but no one's there. Bomb planted, and it'll have to be eco next round from Mousesports as well, as they go 13-5 down.
Not too shocking.
No.
If you are a Mousesports fan, then obviously you don't need to take too much away from this. It's just too early.
Yeah.
I think for a technical map such as Overpass to expect a lot versus a team who've been together for a number of months. This is how it should be, for all intents and purposes, at this present time. But there are, I mean, if it is to continue this way, there are very interesting maps to come, that is for sure. However, it's not over just yet.
Well, I think Mousesports, they've I think lost maybe 4 or 5 1v1 situations, which are like really impactful. Like on that RPK, another RPK one actually in this half. That was, as you said, absolutely massive.
Yeah, that was for me. That was the game. As soon as RPK wins that, that's the conversation over. Mousesports can bring it back. They needed the clean start. They needed to win a few clutches early on, and they'd have to take an eco here. So they've got anything but that after winning the pistol. So MAC-10 for Frozen. A Deagle saving the previous round for Rops. He's got armor as well. They can win this round. It's not impossible, but it's extremely unlikely. It would take somewhat of a miracle to make this work.
Well, it's just a MAC-10.
Yeah. The Deagle of Rops, though, is what I'm more interested in. I think that could cause more damage.
There he is. There he is. It's Mousesports coloured Deagle.
Yeah.
More or less. Looks on brand. On brand. Will it be on point? It's actually not a bad looking Deagle, I have to say. I'm usually all about the Cobalt.
Which one is that, the blue one?
Yeah.
I have the Golden Koi Stat Track factory new. Pretty nice.
Cobalt.
I've got one of those.
Stat Track.
Doesn't look as cool as you'd think in game. Actually looks a little bit dull.
Yeah, it does. It looks a bit Fisher Price, doesn't it?
So I was a bit disappointed. I spent hundreds of dollars on that, and then didn't actually get the satisfaction I was looking for.
that red one's more expensive right now.
Yeah.
I have like all the Deagles basically.
Yeah, I need to update my collection.
I have the Stat Track factory new one of this one as well.
I haven't checked out the new case yet. What's it like? You into it?
The AWP, I think Zoe was using it.
There's another one with Snake on it? Is that the new one? That looks really
It's alright, but I haven't decided yet if I would like that in 2 months.
Are you still? Are you a case opener or just investor?
I'm an occasional case opener, but generally, if I want something, I just buy it.
It's the best way, right?
Yeah.
Like instead of spending hundreds of dollars on all the cases, have to go for the process. You just get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
For the price.
Especially if it's like something that's more expensive.
Yeah.
You're just gonna save yourself money.
And it's exactly the one you want in terms of the condition and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I went on a merry adventure opening Bravo cases, trying to get Fire Serpent AK. A merry adventure, Henry.
Okay, how much money are we talking here?
Those cases were like £4 each.
Wow. I've never unboxed anything of worth. I must have opened hundreds of cases. I've never got anything.
I got a fair few knives.
I've never opened a knife.
I've never opened. No, I opened one at the beginning. It was awful, worth like £15.
Honestly, hundreds of cases I must have done.
When I was in Azerbaijan,
oh yeah,
with PGL for some fighting game stuff, I was drunk on the floor of my hotel in my underwear.
Okay,
on my Mac laptop, opening cases, and I opened 2 M9 bayonet fades.
Wow.
And I was laughing my ass off. Wow. I kept one because it was full fade, and I sold the other one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
GG, good, happy times.
The best thing I've opened is Minimal Wear, Stat Track, Man at War, AWP. And that's what I use. I called it the railgun.
The railgun. Perfect.
It's the railgun.
I think one of those is called El Presidente.
I think I've seen you use that.
And it's covered in Vox stickers.
Mm-hmm. Well, timeout for Mousesports here, boys. They really don't have much time to stabilize this situation because they are running out of time. 2 more rounds of Vitality. We'll take their map pick. We should send that home. This is the best of 3. This is the semi-final today. Work out who'll be playing North tomorrow in the grand final of week 2. So a lot on the line here. You do want to make sure you qualify for the London finals as quickly as you can. Means you can negate the online process completely if you win one of our weekly cups. And without many of the big boys there this week, and Astralis already qualified, this would be a prime time to snatch it away.
Yes, good window this week.
Yes, with other events going on. This
People in Sao Paulo.
Exactly. This is a perfect week to get it done. I'd love to see Vitality. I'm actually a bit of a fan of this squad. I feel like they've got good work ethic, good attitude, and they work very hard. I know that. MBK wants to show the world this can still be a world-class team. They've made changes. You remember they started off with Happy in the squad, which for me was like, oh, another one of these teams. Like, we're just putting the same old names together. Then bringing in Alex, I actually didn't mind that at all. I think he's a pretty decent player, brought some new ideas to the table. They still have a lot of work to do, I think, but it's getting there. You can see improvements at each event they go to.
Oh, Woxic.
Hello. If he gets 1 kill here, well played. That's
like
enough.
He walks into the wrong gender toilets. Oh, sorry, I'll just excuse myself. Oh, it's too late. Wearing a handcuff.
I've seen everything. Oh, God. Scarred for life.
Yeah. So that's what they do. By the sinks. 4 versus 3 for Vitality, planting the bomb for the toilets. 3 orgs for Mousesports. They've got a smoke. No flashes to get through these choke points. That smoke could be better. I think it hit the molly, and that might be an opening which Mousesports could abuse.
Ooh, Chris has walked his way through, and he made the wrong guess. It's all about the guesswork. Frozen, let's see what he can do. Frozen's one of those players, there's so many focal points on this Mousesports team. We've seen like how ridiculous Rops has been. We're thinking about Rops, we're thinking about Carrigan and what he's adding to the team. You look at Chris J, obviously, as always, Woxic, massive focal point as well with the AWP. And Frozen, we've seen good performances from him, but we're still yet to really see what he looks like on this team.
There's a lot of hype around him, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of conversation. I've only cast him a few times. He seems like a pretty good rifler. I'm not getting excited about he's the next big thing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I've heard rumors and stories about him that sound unbelievable. So
what stories have you heard?
Just that he's like just insanely skilled and can do crazy things on the server. I'm just yet to see it, and I'll give him some time, of course. I don't know much about him at all. So still waiting to see him at a big event and see what he can do on LAN. That's where I really make my judgment down. That's where it all goes down.
Yeah.
When you're not in the comfort of your own bedroom in your pants. As we'll see Voxic trying to open things up. 2 scout shots land, and Alex can't believe it. So 15-5. It's all on the line now. Mousesports at this stage might just be thinking about us just keep getting warmed up for that next map. I'll pick Mirage. Try and hold on. Gonna need 10 rounds in a row just to take us to overtime here. That doesn't seem likely, but they'll give it their best shot.
I love the scout, actually.
Yeah.
I used to scout today.
It went out of fashion for a long time. Ever since it was nerfed, I suppose, without the jump shot potential. It still has that, but you can jump. You can only shoot at the apex of the jump now. You don't see anyone utilize that at all. That's not really a mechanic we see brought into the game.
That thing made me furious.
Yeah, it was a bit much, wasn't it?
Yeah. Carrigan's in trouble. A lot of trouble. Sent to detention. 3v3. Mousesports on a lifeline. Frozen moving down to the lower area. Woxic needs to find something. Frozen will create space with that smoke grenade, but it's not looking good.
Let's see what he's can put together here. It's an awkward spot. Frozen and Woxic, the two young guns. To the smoke, finds some good timing to take down one, but now Woxic against two. No kits at hand as well, unless there's one on the site somewhere. I'm not sure that there is. I mean, actually, I think I just saw one, but that had to be the headshot, I think. Let's get a nice connection. He's going to follow it up. No. Apex brings out the pistol. 16-5, and there was a lot of chances here for Mousesports, but Vitality showed today that they're on top of the clutches.
They absolutely are, Dan, and you have to say Zywoo and Apex took them to town there. That was a great showing individually from them. Rob's had his moments, and Mousesports are a little bit unfortunate he didn't get more rounds on the board. So close, so many times, but the teamwork and, as we said, the synergy shone for Vitality there. They looked very good. The Mousesports certainly not dead in the water. That was their opponent's pick. As we always say, it doesn't really matter what the scoreline is. They look like they're up for it today. Individually, they're still looking very strong. RPK, for me, had some fantastic moments, and he actually kept Vitality well in the lead. Zywoo, again, strong as ever. So fantastic with his AWP. Pretty much good with every weapon you give him. This was a lovely moment from Voxic on the pistol. Very clean with the P2000. Unable to convert the second round, however, and for me, that was the point where it was lost. As soon as they lost to the CZs and the execution, it all fell apart. As I said, Zywoo and Apex really getting it done there. RPK only with 14, but some very pivotal moments on the B bomb site. Voxic at the top, which bodes well for Dust 2 if we get there. That's the third map, but we move on to Mirage next. As Rob said he got 12, it felt like he had a lot more than that, but I guess he just had the rounds they did win. He was finding those impactful kills. So there we go, James. As expected, it is the first map for Vitality. Surely Mirage, though, we'll be able to see a bit more out of these boys.
Yeah, I think that'll be a lot easier. I think that in this generation of Counter-Strike, with all the players mixing together in FPL, I think it gives them a certain base level of synergy that might not have existed before, and that might come more into play on Mirage. Again, Overpass maybe too much to ask in a short period of time, but Mirage is a simpler map.
Well, every game we watch, we're always interested to see what Mousesports bring to the table. It's an exciting team with exciting players, and we'll see what they can do on their map pick of Mirage after this break.